Hey folks, it's Brian here. It's late or early, I guess, maybe, depending upon which way you're looking at it. We just finished up our latest session of Princes of the Apocalypse. I was really hoping to get much further along tonight than we actually did. A lot of just having a good time, talking, catching up, sharing ideas and stuff. I started like at 8:30ish, but we didn't really get started until about 9. And I just got home and it's like 1:30. So a lot of hours, but we didn't get a lot done. Well, we were in Tribor, and so the party decided to go to I don't have my map. Yartar, there we go. Go over to Yartar, and from there take keelboat south. They weren't sure exactly where they wanted to go at that point. I did have everybody make intelligence rolls. The paladin made it. Said, hey, didn't you guys mention something about having found a map somewhere? And so they brought the map out, and there's a mark on it about where the Riverguard keep for the water cultists is located there off of the river within the Sundering Hills there. Excuse me. So I make some rolls to see what's the availability of boats, that kind of thing, and there's going to be a few days before there's something available, so I'm assuming there's a lot of ships that are just out. They'll need to come back, and then they'll do a resupply thing, and then they'll take off again. So the player's trying to get some downtime stuff, not even downtime, stuff they can do while they're waiting. And the barbarian wants to learn how to make bows. He wants to make a bow for something he's trying to do. And a lot of the party's been talking about burning down a house and making it look like it was water cultists who have done it. And they decided that burning down somebody else's house is probably not a good idea. They start talking about, well, what if we buy our own house and then burn it down? So there's a bunch of discussion on that, how much would it cost, and all that kind of stuff. And we, swagged a couple of things for that. And then Lady Jovashai wanted to go to one of the temples. She didn't go to the Temple of Helm there, and going in mourning garb because her mother had been killed in Waterdeep, and so she wanted to do this whole spiel where she comes in every day at the same time, or in the morning and the afternoon kind of thing, multiple times, making obvious scene that she's praying for guidance and deliverance and that kind of thing. And one of the priests takes notice of this and talks with her, and she shares her story. A lot of not factual truths sprinkled with a whole bunch of just plain lies about stuff that's been going on with her in her life, and some of her interaction with the air cult and one of their guards, and that kind of thing. Like she was trying to drum up some support that maybe they might send some folks to help her out and hunt down these cultists, but she never quite went that far to say that she wanted somebody to come with her. And made some reaction rolls. The priest was very sympathetic, but thankfully, since she didn't go that far, I didn't have to worry about that issue. So eventually, the times all wind up. There's a couple of keel boats available, and they have horses now, so it's going to take 2 boats to get everybody down. And they head down south, and they get towards where this symbol is. And sure enough, there's the Riverguard keep there on the west side of the river. But they notice on the east side of the river is this landing that it's actually the Paladin again who noticed that, although the Paladin wasn't there for this one either. There's a landing there where when the party was investigating the ambush, they followed tracks down here, and there was some keel boats had been pulled up, and and been shoved off. And that's just north of where Riverguard Keep is. So they continue on south. There's Riverguard Keep. I show them the picture. They see some of the stuff. And they start making all kinds of plans about how they're going to break in and that kind of thing. They go further south to where there's actually some room on the west side of the river. They can shoal the keel boats, get off. All the keel boats continue on their way, that kind of thing. At one point, Lady Jovish has something about having Aloysius Invisible hanging out in front or hanging out by Riverguard Keep to just keep an eye on it and see what happens while they're trying to travel around by land to get back over to it. Whole bunch of discussion about that. Never really says he does that. So I have to worry about, okay, how much people does he see? Who does it come out? Do the boats move in and out? Do the pirates do anything? That kind of deal. So they have to worry about that. So they travel up through the Sundering Hills up to the front of Riverguard Keep there, and they decide to do a dual infiltration. Lady Jovishai with the two elves will come up to the front gate. She'll do her spiel about having left the funeral of her mother and is looking for a place to stay. They haven't been able to find any place, and can they stay here, kind of thing. They wait till it's dusk at least, if not getting dark, before they come up. And while that's all going on, the paladin and the half-orc are on his Pegasus. They're going to wait a minute after Lady Jovishai and company get inside the gate, and then they're going to fly up over the keep to look and see how many guards there are and that kind of stuff. And they have this plan. Barbarian has a set of that wing gear, the flying squirrel suit. And the plan is for him to fly down and use one of his attacks to do a push-shove kind of attack, since you land on him, and then use a second attack to attack him with his sword. It's a great sword, but hey, whatever. So that's the plan. Lady Jovishai and the elves come up. They call out to the keep. The keep answers back, "Who are you? What do you want?" She explains herself and why they're here, and they're looking for a place to spend the night, that kind of thing. They let them in, put the 4 guards on them. They travel around, do some minor description of going through. Since I'm not moving at combat speed, just strolling along, I figured it'd take them 10 rounds to actually get to the Great Hall with doors open. They open the doors on turn 12 or 10, turn 10. So on turn 10, the paladin and the half-orc barbarian take off on the Pegasus, and they go up about 100 feet above the walls, looking around. I make some rolls, and one of the guards spots them. Both the paladin and the barbarian miss their perception rolls on noticing, but the Pegasus does notice. Hey, there's somebody else that spotted us. Telepathic link, paladin seed kind of thing. So the barbarian says, "Okay, let's do this," and he jumps off with the wingsuit, and he goes burrowing down. I have him make an acrobatics roll to see if he can actually, zoom in on the guy and hit him, and he made it really well. So then we do the standard acrobatics versus acrobatics or athletics to see if they get pushed or not and that kind of thing. And then we roll damage, and the guy went basically straight down, but on his acrobatics he rolled a 20. So yeah, he gets right down the bottom, flares, feet into the guy's back. He did do his rage on the way down as a bonus action, so he takes half damage. He took 22 points of damage. The poor guard, who only had 9 hit points, took 44 points of damage. Crunch. And with that kind of impact, I made a couple of perception rolls on the 2 guards adjacent to that area. South guy rolled a crit, so he heard something. He turns to look, see what's going on. Paladin's still looking around, and I tell him, okay, there's 3 guards out there. And they can't see where Lady Jovishai and the elves went. And excuse me. And but the guard made his roll that something was going on, so he took off running. The Pegasus made his perception roll again, saying, "Hey, that guy's running." So he tries to do the dive bomb with the Pegasus on the guy, but they didn't make the acrobatics roll, so he didn't land on him. And while all that's going on outside, inside, Lady Jovashai and company come up to Grimjaw, and he looks up at her and says, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And she speaks to him in Primordial. So he looks at one of the elves and says, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And at that, she casts her hypnotic trance thing, which just has a somatic component. Is that right? Movement of the hands kind of thing. That's what it's designed to be, kind of deal. So behind Grimjaw is a water cultist guy, not sure, a fathomer, and he's got 2 guards off to the side. And Lady Jovashai has seen these water reavers, what they're called, the guard type guys with the shark tooth swords and the crab shell shields. So she recognizes, okay, these are cultists. So she does her spell, and they all miss their saving throw. They're all within that 30-foot range kind of thing. So, and I kind of cut her off at that point. That's when we went outside and finished the stuff with the barbarian and the paladin. But there's still the 4 guards behind her. I'm going to remind her about that next time we get together, because maybe that she didn't want to necessarily do that with the guards behind her. Or maybe she still wants to do that, figuring that if she just kind of keeps it quiet, that the guards won't notice anything, but the guards will notice. I mean, they know Grimjaw, and he's not going to put up with any guff, and if they're not answering him, he's going to tell them to get out. But if he's just kind of sitting there quiet, they're going to know something's up. So there'll be some issues there. I'll give her that chance to what's the word? Retract that. But that was the end of tonight. Not a whole lot happening. A good deal of role play going on with stuff going on in Yartar, and a whole bunch of arguing and discussion and wasting time. But hey, they had fun. I progressed the story some more, so I was happy. That was our game tonight. Hope your game is as good or better.